So welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here. We'll start down on our mats in active rest pose, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat, arms at our sides, or we can place our hands on the lowest abdominals. Let's take a few deep breaths. And on each exhale, let's say the words either out loud or just with a silent kind of whispery breath. We'll say, ha. So each exhale will make that ha sound. And as you make that ha sound, let the shoulders drop away. Let the jaw release. Let the back just melt into the mat. And let's let our eyes close for the next few breaths. Let's simply breathe in and out through the nose. We can still maintain that feeling of the ha breath. And now on our exhales, let's begin to press the lower back into the mat. And as we inhale, we'll gently release the lower back and allow it to arch away. So we'll exhale, lightly scooping the abdominal muscles down and in. Inhale, a little bit of arch in the lower back. Let's do that a few more times. Then rocking the pelvis back to a neutral place. Let's begin to rock east to west. So we can keep our hands on those lowest abdominals, on the hip crests on either side. And we're just swaying the pelvis east to west, breathing deep, keeping the neck and the jaw relaxed. And let's sway back to center. And we'll begin to circle the pelvis round and round. We can release our arms at our sides for this. Finding that nice range of motion. And let's change direction. And we'll circle back to center. Let's bring our right leg in and clasp our hands behind the back of that right thigh. Then let's stretch the right leg up toward the sky, pointing the toes, then flexing through the heel. We'll go back and forth, pointing and flexing. Invite the lower back to just melt into the mat here. Then release, and we'll switch sides, clasping behind the left thigh. Stretch that left leg up to the sky, and we'll point and flex back and forth. And let's bring that foot down to the mat. Let's reach our arms out wide. Let's let the knees sway over to one side and hold there for a breath. Then bring the knees back to center and sway them over to the other side, holding there for a breath. Then let's go side to side. As we sway the knees to one side, reach out with the opposite arm, then soften, sway to the other side, reaching out through your opposite arm. One more to each side. Then swaying back to center, let's find the neutral pelvis again. And let's bring both legs up now and bicycle the leg. Notice if the shoulders want to creep up toward the ears. We'll keep drawing them down, finding a nice big bicycle movement. Then let's change direction. We can go fast or slow. And let's slowly come back to center, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat, hip distance apart, arms at our sides for dynamic bridge. Let's press the lower back into the mat, then peel up one vertebrae at a time with an inhale and curl on down with the exhale. If we want to add the arms, as we roll up, we can reach the arms up overhead. And as we curl down, we can lower the arms. If you'd rather just focus on the spine, you can let the arms rest at our sides instead. If you are reaching with the arms, then think about really lengthening from the fingertips to the knees as you press up. Let's do a few more. Next time we reach and lift, let's hold, reaching and lengthening from the crown of the head to the knees, pressing those hips upward. One more inhale, then slowly curl on down. Once we've lowered everything down, let's bring our knees in close to the belly, putting a hand on each knee or a shin, and let's rock from side to side. Then rocking back to center, let's locate our strap, and we'll place the strap on the ball of the left foot, stretching the left leg up to the sky. Let's place the sole of the right foot onto the mat, and we'll hold our strap on each side with both hands. So one hand on each side. Press into the sole of the right foot. We're going to slowly pull the left thigh closer in by pulling on the straps. Then with the exhale, press the leg up towards straight, working against the resistance of the strap. So we'll pull with the arms, then exhale, press with the leg. We should start to feel some warmth in the muscles of the arms, as well as the leg. One more time. We'll press the leg up towards straight and hold. Pull lightly on the strap. We're going to flex the heel, then press the ball of the foot away. So we're going to pull on the strap, flexing the heel, press the ball of the foot away. Let's do that 2 more times. And 1. Then with a neutral foot, let's bring the strap into our left hand, and we'll stretch the right leg down onto the mat. Hold here for a couple of breaths, softening the shoulders. We're gently rooting that left femur deeper into the hip socket. Then let's begin to circle this left leg in and down, around and up. holding onto the straps in a way that feels intuitive. And we'll see if we can massage into this hip without tipping over through the torso. So we're trying not to tip to the left or to the right, but just open up that hip. And let's change direction. Then let's slowly allow this left leg to open out to the left and hold. So we'll find a good angle that feels like we're being able to stretch and open up through that hip, letting the right shoulder release down. Let's take a few more breaths here. And engaging the core, let's slowly draw this left leg back to center so it's right over the hip. Let's hold the straps with the right hand, taking the left hand to the left hip crease and lightly pressing down. We'll draw the leg across the center line of the body just an inch or two, looking for a little stretch through the IT band. And let's come back to center, softening a little bit, and we'll switch legs. So we'll slip the ball of that right foot into the strap and bring the sole of the left foot down to the mat. Let's hold the straps with both hands, one hand on each side. We'll pull the straps to draw the thigh closer to the belly, then press upward against the resistance to straighten the leg. And let's go back and forth, pulling with the arms, then pressing with the leg. One more time. And we'll press that leg up towards straight. Gently pull on the strap to flex the heel, then press the ball of the foot into the strap. And we'll flex and press. Two more times. Then we'll find a neutral foot. Hold and stretch the left leg all the way out long on the mat. Lightly pull the right leg in and we'll hold here, rooting that right femur deeper into the hip socket, breathing deep. And let's begin to circle this right leg in and down, around and up, holding the strap however feels most intuitive to you, finding the pace that feels good to your body. And again, we're seeing if we can hold really steady so we're not tipping to one side or the other. Keeping a nice, steady, supportive tension on that strap. Then let's change direction. One more big circle. And let's allow this right leg to open out to the right, finding an angle that feels helpful, like a big stretch, but it's not excruciating. And we'll let the left shoulder just rest, breathing deep. Let the right glute release. And engaging the core, let's draw this right leg into center right over the right hip. Switch hands. And we'll take our right hand and bring it right down to that right hip crease, pressing downward. And we'll cross the left leg just an inch or two, rooting down through that right hip and getting a nice stretch through that right outer leg, the IT band. And let's come back to center. We'll release the strap, bringing the soles of both feet onto the mat, arms at our sides. Let's just sway the neck gently side to side, breathing deep. And bringing head and neck back to center, let's bring the legs in. We're going to hold the crease behind the knees for this variation on Happy Baby. Bring the knees a little bit wider than the torso. Sacrum is nice and wide and heavy. We'll rock slowly toward the left and stretch the left leg out long. Then rock back to center, bending the knee. Rock to the right, stretch the right leg out long, back to center. And we'll go back and forth, rocking to the side, stretching that leg out. Beautiful. Let's rock back to center, little by little. Then make your way to one side, everybody, to fetal pose. And come on to hands and knees. Please feel free to put some padding under your knees if you like, or under your wrists. And we'll take some breaths in cat-cow. And let's breathe our way back to a neutral spine. We'll locate our block. And we're going to place that block right in the center of our mat and come down onto our forearms. So we're going to have the block between the hands with the thumb closest to us and the pointer finger aligned on either side of the block. Then let's curl the toes under and we'll press upward into a dolphin pose. So we're hugging inward onto that block through the forearms. Let's take an inhale and exhale, lower. We're going to come in and out of this pose, squeezing into the block, lifting into dolphin, exhaling to lower. Good. Let's do a few more just like that. Then the next time that you lift into dolphin pose, hold there breathing. Lift the heels higher on your inhale and lower the heels some amount on the exhale. We'll keep a little micro bend in the knees, lifting on the inhale, lowering on the exhale. 2 more times. And 1. Then release the knees down to the mat. We'll place our hands on top of the block, push the block away and reach the hips back into this variation on child's pose. Breathing deep into the back body. And let's rise back up into our tabletop. So we're going to lift our block onto its higher setting, and we'll bring our fingertips onto the block out in front of us, or the palms onto the block. We want to lean the hips a little bit forward, so we have to put a little bit of weight in the arms. Then let's take our left arm out to the side and reach it up. So we should feel like we've got to use a little bit of core here, reaching and lengthening. One more inhale and exhale down. We'll do the other side, reaching with that right arm, reaching the hips back a little bit. One more inhale and exhale down. Let's curl the toes. We'll tip the block back to a lower setting, slide it forward, and reach the hips back. Because our arms are a little bit lifted, this is going to help us to melt the heart through that space between the arms. So let's take a couple more breaths, getting that nice release through the upper back here. And let's soften the rest of the way down. We'll tip our block onto its lowest setting, and we'll come back into that kind of L shape that we made with the hands. We're going to frame that block with the index fingers. Thumbs will be closest in, forearms on the mat. Then let's lift our hips so we're returning to our dolphin pose. Squeeze lightly into the block. We'll inhale one leg back behind us and up, and exhale, set it down. Then inhale the other leg, and exhale, set it down. We'll go back and forth. Should be feeling quite a bit of energy in the arms. Let's do one more on each side. And let's lower down, coming down to hands and knees. And we'll take a child's pose or a puppy pose. Breathing deep. And let's rise up into a full tabletop. So we'll just leave our block where it is for now. Let's let the heart melt toward the mat and then draw the heart upward. So these are little mini serratus push-ups here, softening the heart, then drawing the heart up. Beautiful. We'll keep a little micro bend in the elbows. And back to center. We're going to do one more round of those. If you want to make it a little harder, walk the hands a little further forward so the hips are leaning forward. Same thing. Soften and lift. Drawing the core up. Elbows stay neutral. Two more. And one. And let's press those hips back. And we'll come on to our right side. Just stacking the knees. So we're sitting on our right hip. Knees are stacked and off to the left a little bit. We'll take our right arm. Inhale, reach it up. And we'll lean across to the left, holding here for a few breaths. And with an inhale, reach straight up. And exhale, release. We'll either keep our legs just as they were, or we'll take our left foot and bring it around so it's just to the outside of that right thigh. We're rooting into that foot. Then we'll do the same thing again. We'll take the right arm up, big inhale, and lean to the left, holding here for a couple breaths. And with an inhale, let's reach straight up, and exhale, release. We'll restack the legs. We're going to reach outward through our right hand, so we're propping ourselves a little bit on that right arm. We'll reach that left arm up and over, big inhale, and exhale, release. Left arm reaches up and over, big inhale, exhale, release. Let's do that one more time. Then we can either keep the hips on the mat, or we can stretch the left leg out and lift the hips up off of the mat. We'll do the same thing with the arm, reaching up and over on the inhale, releasing on the exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, release. Let's do a few more. One more. And release. We'll let the hips come down, restack those knees. We'll unweight our right arm, reach it up, big inhale, and side bend to the left, holding here. And with an inhale, let's reach straight up. And exhale, release. Let's roll that right shoulder back. And let it drop down. Then let's swivel to the other side. So we're sitting on our left hip. Knees are bent and off to the right. We'll unweight our left hand. Inhale, reach and lean. Let's hold here. Nice big side bend through that left side. So we'll inhale and exhale, touch down. Dynamically now, we'll inhale, lean. Exhale, release. One more time. And release. So we're going to do that move with the arm again. We'll either leave the legs as they are or bring this right foot around to the outside of that left knee. Then we'll take that left arm, inhale, reach it up and lean to the right. Hold here, rooting down through that left hip. One more inhale and exhale, release. So we'll uncross or unwind the legs. We're stacking them again. And now we're going to reach a little further out through that left arm to where we have to put a little weight in it to hold ourselves up. We'll take our right arm, inhale, reach up and over, and exhale, release. Nice big side stretch, moving with the breath. One more time. And release. So we'll either leave the legs as they are, or if we want to take it up a notch, we'll stretch that right leg out, lifting the hips up. So we've got a lot more weight on that left arm. We'll reach that right arm up and over and exhale it back down to our side. Moving with the breath. Hips are pressing forward as well as up. Let's do one more. Hold for extra moment. And release down. We'll restack those knees. Unweight that left arm. Inhale, reach it up. Lean to the right. Then let's reach straight up and release it down. And we'll roll that left shoulder back. And let it drop down. Let's come on to our sits bones now into Dandasana, stretching both legs directly out in front. From there, we'll pull the left leg in, and then we'll place it just outside that right knee, pressing that foot into the mat. Take the right hand and pull that left thigh closer into the belly. Let's soften through the lower back. And we'll walk those left fingertips back behind us, coming into our twist here. Nice long exhales. And let's gently unwind. We'll place the sole of this left foot now on the right inner thigh, reorienting so we've got both sits bones planted and return toward the diagonal between the two knees. As we inhale, let's reach both arms up. Exhale, lean forward, reaching long through those fingertips Scooping the core in, let's hold for one more inhale. Then float the arms down, we'll hold here, letting the back release, letting the shoulders melt. And let's walk our hands back in towards center. Let's stretch the left leg out long, reorienting. So we've got a nice neutral pelvis and hips. Then we'll pull the right foot in close and place it just outside that left knee. Take the left arm and hug that right thigh closer with it, softening through the lower back. And we'll start to walk those fingertips back behind us, using our exhales to twist. One more exhale. Then let's unwind, and we'll place the sole of this right foot on the left inner thigh, reorienting toward the diagonal, feeling both sits bones on the mat. Let's inhale, both arms up. We'll exhale, lean on that diagonal line, holding here, reaching the sits bones back and the fingertips forward. And with our exhale, we'll float the hands down to the earth, letting the back release, letting the shoulders rest, letting the eyes rest. Nice long exhales here. And let's walk the hands back in towards center. And let's make our way up onto our feet. I'll lose my socks on the way. Coming to standing on our mat. Let's bring our feet just a little wider than the hips, hands on the hips. And let's circle the hips round and round. Then change direction. And back to center. So bring our feet closer together so they're just hip distance apart. We'll bring our left foot forward and our right foot back. So we're getting ready for a triangle pose. We're going to pull the right hip back a little bit. Let's reach our arms out wide, reaching the left fingertips out over that left leg. And let's lean forward with a big inhale and tilt into triangle on our exhale. Let's hold here for a couple breaths, opening up through the heart. So wherever we're connecting with that left hand, we want to feel solid ground underneath that palm. But we also want to feel like we're using our core to lengthen and hold the pose. Let's take one more inhale, one more exhale, and inhale, tilt back up, and exhale, release those arms. We'll roll the shoulders back. And we're going to go to the other side. You can either just switch legs or we can turn to the other side so that our right foot is forward and left foot is back. So however you want to get there. And we'll inhale, open the arms, reach forward. Exhale, tilt into triangle, holding our beautiful triangle shape on this side, rolling that left shoulder back, and seeing if we can find that core connection to support the pose, lengthening through the torso. One more exhale. On our inhale, let's rise up. Exhale, release those arms, roll the shoulders back. So let's step our way back into Tadasana, finding our block. And we'll bring the block on its highest setting, right to the front of our mat. So we're in Tadasana, we're facing our block. Let's inhale, reach the arms up, forward fold on the exhale, placing our palms onto that block, putting a little micro bend in the knees. So feet will be somewhat close together. We're going to take our right leg back behind us and hold. So reaching back through that right leg. Let's take another inhale. Then exhale, place it down. And we'll inhale the left leg back and hold. Again, scooping that core in and up. One more inhale. And exhale down. Planting both feet. Take a moment here to just tread in place, softening a little bit through the heart center. Then we'll root down through the left foot and reach that right leg back behind us again. This time, let's take our left arm and reach that forward, drawing those core muscles in and up, breathing deep. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Other side. Left leg reaches back. Right arm reaches forward. Breathing here. Scooping that core in and up a little bit. Maybe even unweighting the left palm. Finding center. One more inhale. And exhale down. Let's press up and we'll roll on up. Once we're standing, let's inhale and reach up. And exhale the hands to the heart center. So we've got our nice block right in front of us. We're going to place our left foot just to the left of the block and step the right foot back. This time we're going to keep the hips parallel, so our belly button is drawing straight ahead. Left hip is pulling back a little bit. With our inhale, let's reach both arms up. Exhale, we're going to spread our wings wide. Hold for a moment, lengthening the spine. Then bring the hands down to the block. So we're in a nice deep asymmetrical forward fold here. We can put a little micro bend in that left knee. We're reaching the crown of the head forward. And from here, we're going to open the left arm out to the left. So we're coming into a revolved triangle. One more inhale. And with the exhale, we'll bring that left hand back to the block and let the torso just melt over that left leg. Nice deep forward fold. Then we've got a couple choices for coming back up. We can walk our hands up the leg. We can open our arms and reverse swan dive, whatever you prefer. Once you're standing, we'll inhale, reach up, and exhale the hands back to the heart. Then let's bring hands to hips. We'll step the right foot forward, so it's just outside the block, and the left foot back. Again, pressing that left hip forward. So our belly button's pointing straight ahead. Hips are neutral. Looks perfect. We'll inhale, reach up. Exhale, halfway down. We're going to reach those arms out wide. Keep pulling that right hip back here. On the exhale, float the fingertips down to the block, but keep the torso reaching forward. Soften through the upper back, holding here. We're going to come into our revolved triangle again, reaching the right arm out to the right and up. Keep pulling that right hip back though. Beautiful. One more inhale. Exhale, hands down to the block. Take another breath in. Then we'll melt the torso over that right leg, forehead toward the knee. Right hip is still pulling back. We'll take a couple more deep breaths here. And then again, we can start to walk the hands up the leg, or we can do our reverse swan dive. Once we've risen up, we'll inhale and reach up, and exhale, hands to the heart. Let's step our way back into Tadasana. So we'll be right behind our block, and let's tread the feet out, marching in place a little bit. With our inhale, let's reach both arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands onto that block. We'll sweep that right leg back behind us. Reach that left arm forward. If we want to add our revolved posture here, instead of reaching that left arm forward, reach it out to the side, and then maybe open a little bit to the left. Keep lifting that right leg. One more inhale. Exhale everything down. We'll curl up slowly. Then inhale and reach up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Big inhale, reach up. Forward fold on the exhale, hands to the block. We're going to reach that left leg back behind us. We can stay right here or reach the right arm forward, teeter-totter, bird dog, or we can revolve it, taking the right arm out to the right and opening the heart. One more inhale. Exhale down. We'll curl up slowly. Once we rise, we'll inhale and reach up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Let's take a full breath here. And releasing the arms, we'll just melt our way down to our mat. Just placing that block out of the way. We'll come right down onto our backs. Once we arrive, let's bring the knees in close to the belly and rock from side to side. Then rocking back to center, let's clasp our hands over the right shin, stretch the left leg out long, let it rest, and we'll just rock this right thigh side to side. Let the shoulders and the jaw release. And coming back to center, let's switch sides. Stretching the right leg out, letting the shoulders drop toward the mat, and we'll rock this left thigh side to side. Then coming back to center, let's bring the right leg in close as well. We're going to cross the right thigh over the left, snugging the thighs together, pointing the toes toward the ears for supine gomukhasana. Hands on the knees, we're going to pull the thighs closer in. We did a lot of hip warming up today, so we can either keep our hands right there on the knees, or we could curl up and take hold of the outer edges of the feet. If that feels like the wrong idea, just hold on to the knees. We'll keep the toes flexed toward the ears, looking for a deep stretch through the right outer hip. And let's soften, we'll unwind. Stretch both legs up to the sky for a moment before we do the second side. We'll slowly open out into a V shape and just as slowly come back to center. Let's do that 2 more times, finding that V shape and back to center. 1 more time. Then let's soften and bend the knees a little bit. We'll cross the left thigh over the right. Pointing the toes toward the ears, we'll start to draw the thighs closer to the belly. At first, holding onto those knees. Our heels should be higher than the knees. So, yeah, feet are wide. And then for those of us with long arms or higher pain tolerance, then lift up and hold the outer edges of the feet. if that feels available. We're warmed up for it, but it still might not feel right to your body. So please feel free to just continue holding the knees if that's the case. And we'll take a few more deep breaths. And let's soften, we'll unwind, release. Let's stretch both legs toward the sky. We'll flex the feet away from each other and then toward each other. So heels toward each other, toes out, toes point in, heels out. So we're rotating the whole leg right from the hip socket all the way to the toes. Back and forth. And let's bring the knees in close. We'll give ourselves a big hug. And release. So I'd like to do a little bit with the wall today with our legs up. So legs up the wall. If you're at home, you can put your legs up on the sofa or an easy chair or a wall if you have a wall space. Sometimes a door is the open wall space at home. If you're here with me in the studio, I've discovered we can do legs up the wall even though we have the bar. You just have to slip your legs through the space between the bar and the wall, and it's completely fine. In fact, I didn't discover it. I was complaining we didn't have enough wall space, and Stephanie said you should do it that way. So go ahead and reorient your mat. We'll point the narrow end of our mat toward our prop. Yep. And you're also welcome to join me up here as well. There's a little bit of space without a bar. And we'll come onto our backs and put the legs up the wall, or at home up on the sofa is really nice. And we've got a few variations that we can do while we're here. We can either just have the legs straight up the wall, using the wall. Is it? Are you gonna find the right spot where you're not right by one of the connections? Oh, okay. Okay. So the legs can be stretched straight up the wall, or we did a lot of hip openers, as I said. We can continue that by bringing the legs out into a V shape. Oh, those are really handy, aren't they? That's a nice support. I like that. So maybe the bar actually has more merits than I'm giving it credit for here as a yoga teacher. Hey. So find a good position that just feels restful. We don't want to be doing anything anymore right now. We just want to get a nice passive release for the hips. And if the legs are straight up and down over the hips, that's great. Just letting the femurs sink deeper into the socket. And we're all getting that nice benefit of the immune system boost that comes from elevating the feet. So let's let our eyes close, and we'll start to take some deeper breaths in and out through the nose, slowly filling the lungs up all the way and slowly emptying out again. If you remember as a child, maybe you poured some water from one cup into another, just to watch the way the water moves so fluidly, swirled around in there. In the same way, we're gonna just pour the breath slowly into the lungs and slowly empty it out again, clearing space. Hmm. If you are still in that V shape with the legs, let's slowly elevate the legs back towards center. And if you're all cozy at home with your feet on the sofa, you can just stay as you are. And we'll start to just wiggle the toes. Just wiggling the toes, curling and uncurling the toes. Then let's lift the left leg slightly away from whatever it's resting on and just circle that left ankle. Then change direction. And we'll let that left leg rest. We'll lift the right leg slightly away from our prop. Circle that right ankle. Then change direction. And release. And if you feel very content here with your legs elevated, feel free to stay just like that. We're going to transition into Shavasana. So if you'd rather lay flat, then first you just want to bend the knees and draw them closer in. Roll to one side to fetal pose. And then you can make your way into traditional Shavasana. But as I said, if you are feeling really happy and you want to just keep the legs elevated, that's completely fine. If you're coming down into Shavasana, you can leave your mat where it is and just kind of scoot back a little bit and lay down again. I'm going to turn so I can watch over everybody. And just find your way to whatever pose you would enjoy for Shavasana here. You're laying on the back or with the feet a little bit up. And call to mind a person or place, another being that just makes your heart feel so happy. My son's best friend, their family has a sheepdog who loves me. And it's so mutual. He's just like the sweetest little dog. And whenever I go over, he just is like glued to me. It's so adorable because he has like the happiest, most joyous little face in the world. So call to mind something or someone like that, where just the sight of that other being makes your heart feel so happy. Mm. Let's bring the awareness back to the breath, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Let's take time to stretch and move a little bit. And slowly make our way to one side. We'll use our hands to help press our way up, finding our way back to a centered seat. When we get there, let's close our eyes, bringing the hands to the heart, and just bow the head to the heart for a moment, honoring yourself for the good energy that you brought to the practice. Invite that good energy to continue to grow, to stay with you throughout your days, and to radiate outward to everyone whose lives we touch. May we all have hope, joy, love, light, and laughter. Thank you so much for coming. Namaste.